Hey y'all, we're back with the Viggen again. Wanted to show you another little project I've worked on and show you how to do it to make life easier for you guys. As you can tell, I've done one headlight already and quite the difference. Those are stock halogens over there. This is an LED module. Quite the difference. So let's get into it. I'll show you how to do the other one. Okay, well, step one, pop the hood. Step two, since we're going to take the headlight out, because it's actually much easier, I tried to actually put the LED bulb in there with the headlight in, and it was a nightmare. These lights come out super easy. So let's just go through that. I've already done this one, so let's do this one. First step is the grill comes off. Normally that's a pain with most cars, but this one is a Saab. So push this back, lift up, push this back, lift up, and the whole grill comes right off. Now, just for reference, that little hook right here hooks on that little nub that sticks out off of the edge of the headlight, just like that, and then snaps on right there. So that's all that holds it, but that's more than enough. So makes it very easy to take it apart. So that's the first part. Second part is you've got a headlight wiper. So we're going to actually move that out of the way, like that. Third part is you have 3 screws, 1, 2, 3 here. One more down on the side after we move this light out of the way. So the very first thing we're going to do is remove that screw right there. And it is going to take a Torx bit, and it is a, looks like a T25 actually. So we're going to take that one out once we actually turn it the right direction here. And I am one-handing the camera, so expect a little bit less than perfection of the camera work. Okay, so that one's loose. So we'll just go ahead and turn these loose while we're here. Being careful not to drop them down inside the car. There for a second. Rather than reach in there and fumble that sucker into the down into the grill work, I'm going to actually use a magnet to pick that one out and stick it with the rest. Now, there is a trick to this. You don't just pull out this way with this turn signal indicator. You actually pull it forward because there's actually a hook. If you pull it sideways, it doesn't want to go. It's actually hooked into this other headlight right in here. So you just reach down here, push forward, brings the headlight out. The hook part that I'm talking about is right there. Hooks right there around that piece of plastic. So if you pull sideways, you snap that plastic, you're going to have problems with this bulb, or this headlight fixture not wanting to stay put. So pull it out just a little bit. It's on a nice long wire. Just let her lay just like that on the side. Now you're going to have another one, another screw sitting right there. A little hard to see. I'll put my headlight on right quick so I can show it to you with some light. Quick tip, if you do a lot of work on cars, you're going to love one of these. Little headlight, clips right on, it's nice and bright, and not very expensive either. So highly recommend grabbing one of these guys. Let's get back to it. All right, to show you that screw, let's kick the light on here. And now you see the screw sitting right there. That holds the side of the bulb. So we'll take that loose, and then this bulb is ready to be rocked up and out of here. So when you put it back in, it's just snugged, not tight. Okay, that's been put in its place. All right, now the light is pretty easy. There's actually a connector. It's a little hard to see, but actually really hard to see. Right there. That connector has to be disconnected, but you can get the light out a ways first. So now that you have moved the wiper out of the way, because there's a wiper ledge here, you can lift up on the headlight a little bit and just kind of work it out of there. It's a little easier with two hands. As a matter of fact, it's a lot easier with two hands. So let me put this on a tripod real quick, and then we'll pull that out of there. Okay. Just grab both ends, lift. It's going to have to be jiggled a little bit to get it out of there. There it goes. It kind of rotates up and out like this. Make sure you can actually see me doing that. Yeah, rotating up like that. Brings it out a ways. And then you've got your connector, which is sitting right here. There's your connector. Pretty easy to disconnect this one. Don't just pull on this, but actually this is like a flat edge. Right here. These are the two stabs that go all the way through. So you're going to press on those to get it to start, and then pulling this will actually cause, well, this one to actually pop apart. So let's put that back together right quick here. Sorry for the terrible camera work, but I'm a one-man band until I get a better tripod. All right, so now that'll just sit. Headlight is now loose. We'll take it out of here. And there's your open compartment right there. So let's go work on this. All right, first step when working on something like this is throw something down to cover everything. All right, so there's your headlight. You unscrew this a little bit, not much, pops right off. And that's your actual high beam and low beam. It's a combo single bulb. So first off, we got a connector here. I'm going to do something here. There we go. Use the flash on the camera itself. This is just a regular connector for a halogen bulb. Pulls out, unplugs, move it to the side. In order to get this off, there's a bracket, excuse me, this little spring bracket holder right here that connects and hooks underneath of this piece of plastic. Be very careful not to break that, because that will suck. You'll have to replace your headlight. So what you do is you push down on that and move it sideways at the same time. So we'll push down. You can actually probably do it with one thumb. There it goes. And then just let go. Now it's off to the side. And flip it up out of the way. And you can pull out. And we'll put this one with the other one. This is a silver star, which actually is a pretty bright one. Terribly dim compared to the other one. All right. Now, I am not getting any kind of benefit from the company that makes these, but I've put these in every vehicle I've got right now. I've put them in a 2017 Buick Regal. I'll show you the Fahren for sure LED lighting. You can get them on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. And I've already put one in, so obviously I don't need both. And this is what you get from the package. And this right here is actually kind of like a resistor pack. And honestly, I've noticed that if they have this resistor pack and CANbus pack, they seem like they don't strobe. I shouldn't say strobe. They don't flicker like the ones that don't have this. I had one of these, same brand, without that, and it flickered like crazy in my wife's 2020 Kia Sportage. So all I did is swapped it out for one of these that has the CANbus attachment on here, and no more flickering at all. No more, it seemed like the voltage varying on the car was causing the bulb to flicker a lot. So Got rid of that, but at this point, yeah, I've had one of these. I put a set of these on a 2017 Buick Regal, an 05 Saab 9.3 linear, which has the worst headlight set of any car I've ever seen. And I did have to do the Tech 2 tune-out. I put them also on a 2012 Kia Sorento. My wife's 2020. What else did I put those on? Seems like I put them on one other vehicle. I think it was another Saab. But yeah, I mean, fantastic bulbs. The set that are on the 2012 have been on there for, I think, a couple of years now, still burning just fine. So anyways, the way this one works, some of them are a solid piece on the end, but this one, because of how it goes in here, they actually have it tabbed so that you can take it off. You just rotate the center barrel, take this adapter off, put the adapter in there, clamp it down, then put this in and turn it to lock it in place. So that's what we're going to do now. Now notice that you have your high beam is the back and the low beam is the front, and you've got these little deflector wings on both sides, which basically cuts the beam off so that when it's going down the road, you don't have a beam, high beam or a low beam up in people's eyes. It'll actually do a nice hard cutoff. You saw it when I had the headlights pointing at the garage, how there was just a hard cut on the top of each beam. That's because they designed them that way so you don't blind oncoming drivers. All right, so what we're going to do at this point is we're going to spin this off. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on a tripod for a minute so you can watch. Okay, I've got the camera on a better tripod point. Now you can see a pretty good image of what I'm working on here. Move this out of the way. So what you've got is you have this hanger that locks in place, locks to that tab right there. That's flipped up out of the way for now. You have 3 points, 1, 2, and 3, which coordinate with these 3 points here. What we're going to do is actually take this off. So you just have to rotate, push forward a little bit, actually push up like that, then rotate, and it slips right off. Now you got the barrel. You'll take the barrel, and the fattest tab goes up top. 2 thinner tabs go on the 2 sides. So we're going to slide that in there. Fits right in like that. Move this out of the way so you can see it. Fits in nice. Now we're going to take this piece of metal and pop it back down. It's a little tough to push. We're going to push down on it to get it to go back around that plastic. All right, now it's hooked around the plastic. We also have to flare it a little bit. So what I'm going to do is push sideways this way and that way to widen that opening a little bit, but not breaking that plastic. So basically I'm just going to flex it a little bit like that. Okay, that flexed it enough to where this piece right here is not going to hit right on these edges here. Because if you don't do that, this hits those 2 pieces of wire before it ever gets into the hole all the way. So, all right, so this goes on this one. This is the top of the headlight. This is the bottom. And I know that the reflector is supposed to go with the cord sticking down. So I'm going to stick it in there, line these 2 slots up with those 2 slots, and then turn it to lock it in place. See if you can see that. Alright, get that in there. Push in and turn. Alright, now it's locked. Alright, cool. Now what I'm going to do with this resistor is I'm actually going to tuck it. Since this is the bottom of it, or the bottom of the headlight, I'm going to shove this back in there. Then I'll plug this into this and tuck those away so they don't get in the way of this little cooling fan here. Probably should have done that before I stuck that in there, but no big deal. There's a lot of room on the bottom, and it'll keep it out of the way, and it won't rest on the reflector housing inside, and I don't know how warm those resistors get, so not taking that chance. Last step, plugging in this light connector to the car, and then we're going to rotate this up. I don't know that I like let's see. There's a better way to do this. I did it on the other one. Yeah, it was down here. Unplug it for a second here. I actually want it to go underneath this. So I'm actually going to slide this to the other side of this cable. Turn this so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm just taking this to the other side of the cable. Then I'll plug it in. Then it'll just tuck right in there like that. So now everything's tucked away. Fan has nothing that could possibly get in the way of it. And the last thing you're going to do is put the cover back on. The cover has 3 slots here. They just line up with those 3 slots. You're going to turn it till it drops into those slots like that, and then just do a little turn and it locks in place. All right, so we are done with that. Now it's time to put the headlight back in. Okay, got the camera in my hand, so let's go put this back in. Obviously, putting it back in is exactly the opposite of taking it out. It's going to go in at an angle, like that. And then once I get into a certain spot, I'm going to go ahead and plug in the connector first before I go deep in here. Okay, so here's what we've got. Here's your connector. We'll slide that back on, and as you press it shut, it automatically locks. It brings the connection all the way forward, so basically it seals if you push it on there firmly like that. Okay, so that one's done. Now we rotate the bulb back, or the headlight right back into its place. Like that. Not a very hard thing to do. Just gotta get it to line up properly. There it goes. Beautiful. All right. So what we'll do is gently feed a couple of the screws in so it stays fairly well lined up here. Not going to tighten them down yet. Once all the screws are in place, then I'll tighten them down. But for now, I just want it to stay put while I'm putting the other parts on. But you're back in place, and your wiper can go back where it goes on that little edge. Now this one goes on the side over here. Right in there. And if you look, you'll see kind of a rub mark where the bolt normally is. That way you can line this thing back up with that same spot. So I'm going to pull it up and right about where it needs to go. Tighten it up just snugs. I'd say a few pounds, 4 or 5 pounds maybe, if that. All right, so that one's in place. Now that that one's in place, we can actually lock these two in place. Snug them down. One thing I better do is, before I get too crazy here, is turn the headlights on and make darn sure I don't have this thing clocked out 180 degrees out. Headlights on. Yep, they're both clocked the same. As you can tell, they both have kind of a cutoff on the top. Almost identical. Let me get up close and you can see it. There you go. Top is cut off nicely. And the same thing with that one, is cut off nicely. So that's your low beams. If I were to kick on the high beams, you can see what they do there. Okay. And the last couple things we got to do, we have to line up the marker light assembly. And the way that one works, same thing. There's a hook right here that hooks to the metal right there. There's another hook on the bottom right there. You can see it. Get a good angle here so you can see it. It is, well, daggone. Hang on. It's not letting me point to it. There you go. Now you can see it. Right there. For some reason it's not focusing. There you go. That hooks to that piece of metal. So we want to make sure those hook in those. So basically the headlight goes in kind of in a forward position like this. Hooks. Yeah, it looks like what? About half an inch forward. They're both hooked now. And then just slide straight back. And then this one here, same thing. You want that bottom one to hook into the other light assembly. So bring her forward just a smidgen, and then slide it straight back, and you're good. Now one screw right there locks that assembly, and it can't move anywhere. I'm going to use the magnet to start it so I don't lose the screw. And put a little pressure on it with my knee so it stays put. That's pretty good right there. Probably have it out just a little bit. Okay, I'm gapping a little bit. If you push it in too tight, they'll be rubbing against each other. So I'm actually going to pull it out just a little bit and gap it. You can see the rub mark on the plastic where the screw should be. So we'll tighten her down a little bit. Looks like it lines up pretty good with the existing marks. Not bad. Yeah, I think I can live with that. All right, tighten that up just a smidge. And then hand tighten it. Yeah, another, probably a total of a few foot-pounds at the most. All right, so your front end is reassembled here. Now the last thing you're going to do is put the grill on and then go take her for a drive. I'm going to save the old bulbs just in case. All right, to put the grill back on, it's a piece of cake. You have two tabs, one on each light right there and right there. You have two hooks, one at each end. You're going to line those two hooks up like that, barely touching them, and then just kind of roll this thing in on top of these two catches like that. Like that, and then all you do is press back on this while you're pushing down, and it locks. Same thing. That's it. Yep. Now you know why I love these cars. A lot of the stuff on here is really easy, common sense for repairs. Nothing usually very difficult. Sometimes a little hard to get to things, but overall these are quite a nice car for what they're being bought for right now. And overall, just a really nice car. So. All right, well, good. Got both headlights in. I'd say we go take a little night drive and see how it looks. Let's shut the hood here. All right, hood shut. Had to turn the battery on, or the battery charger on this phone. All right, now let's turn some headlights on. See just how she looks. Now, mind you, this is with the garage lights all turned on. Let's see how bright she is. All right, there you go. Now you see. Now, just for reference, these used to be no brighter than the fog lights, so I'll turn the fog lights on. That's what those yellow beams are. That's how not bright the headlights used to be. So let's go take a drive and see how this is now. Kind of excited. All right, let's go for a little drive. So we'll turn this the garage door. Oh my, that's a world of difference right there. That is a huge difference. Wow, okay. Well, let's go for a little test drive. Turn off my interior light here. There we go. Oh my gosh, that is so much brighter. It was like a yellowish tinge before. Now it's nice and bright white, like the new cars. How's the high beams? Oh, they work very well. Very nice. Love it. Excellent. The low beam is definitely not up in people's faces. That's nice. It cuts it off down low, which is what you kind of want. I'll put the windows up so there's not so much wind noise. I'll put the rear up. There we go. That should cut way down on the wind noise. That's perfect. The cutoff is, oh, maybe 100 yards in front of you is where it tapers and dies, not up in people's faces. So it should be really pretty good for driving. It's not going to blind anybody unless I give them the high beams, and then it'll definitely blind them then. So yeah, it looks really good. All right, well, I'll turn around and head back to the house, and we'll take a look and see how they look from the outside. I bet you it looks pretty decent. Next step is going to be to put LEDs in the fog lights so that they all match. Cool. Love this. Oh yeah, we need turn signal. Let's see now, turn signal. Yeah, no, that just as is. All right, well, we're going to head back to the house, park it, and take a look at the headlights and see how they look in the dark. All right, they're nice and bright. One downside, looks like I'm going to have to get into the Tech 2 and see if I can program that out. Because obviously there's no failure, so I just have to hit clear to get rid of that. It thinks because it's not drawing that many amps that it's got a headlight failed. All right, let's see what it looks like. Walk around the front here. Yeah, just, you know, nice and bright like a modern set of headlights. Looks pretty good to me. Nice. All right, well, I hope that helps you guys. Well, that takes care of that, so put her away for tonight. And thank you guys again for sticking around and watching, and please like, share, and subscribe. That way we can, you know, kind of share the knowledge and help you guys not to fear projects anymore. So this is Dave from FearNoProject. Have a good one. Keep them running.